Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode. In this episode, we are going to tell you about how you can draft your very own contract. As you must have recalled, in the last video, we had given you the practical insight to the law of contracts, where we had told you about the formation and the performance of the contract, followed by the discharge or the enforceability of the contract. So let's get started with the introductory part. In the legal language, a contract is a promise or a set of promises for the breach of which the law gives you a remedy, or the performance of which the law in some way recognizes a duty. In simple words, a contract lays out an agreement between two parties. If you do not comply with your end of the agreement, the other party can sue you to recover the losses or the damages. When you are in business, you need contracts because they lay out the expectation for both you and the other person you are doing the business with. Basically, the contract protects both of you. If someone does not meet those expectations, you can always have the provision of visiting the court. For example, you could hire someone to design a new website for your business, and the contract would lay out what platform the website will be on, when the design would be delivered, when the website would go live, the prices for the website, or any other responsibilities you would have, like providing the website and the images. Meanwhile, if the designer does not deliver the website on time, you could withhold the payment. Conversely, if you do not pay within the stipulated time period, the website developer or the designer can charge interest on the balance. In short, both of you are protected. Having this agreement in writing also helps prevent conflicts. Both sides exactly know what they need to do. The designer needs to get you a mock-up design for your website within 14 business days, and you on the same time need to send the designer a 50% of the deposit before they will release the mock-up. Getting all these details and information in writing before a project begins helps to ensure both the parties are on the same footing and are working towards the common goal. It is very crucial that the contracts need to be very specific in detail in order to ensure that the interests of both the parties are protected in the event of any sort of disagreement. Apart from this, contract needs to be specific and detailed in order to ensure that the interests of both the parties are protected in case of any disagreement. However, the prospect of drafting a contract may seem a daunting task. The more details you put into a contract, the more complex your contract gets. So basically, in this episode, we shall guide you through the process of drafting a contract. You shall learn the basics of a contract, different types of contracts, the details of how to draft a contract, and how to manage the contract. But first, let's have a look at what contract is and isn't. As discussed before, a legal definition of a contract is an agreement between parties that create mutual obligation enforceable by law. That is, two parties agree to set terms, and if either of the party does not meet those terms, the other party have the provisions of taking the other party to the court. The aggrieved party have the provisions to take the first party to the court. Well, this was what basic definition of contract was. And in order for a contract to be valid, there are certain essentials which must be met out. So let's have a look at what are those essentials. The very first essential is that of a mutual assent. There should be a valid offer and it should be accepted between the party. For example, the sale of a car. One party is selling the car and the other agrees to buy it. In this case, there exists mutual assent between the parties. Then comes the adequate consideration. Adequate consideration is the purchase money which can be traded, the hard money for the goods or the services which are being provided by the other party. The money which can be traded for the goods and services the other party is providing you. Consideration is nothing but something in lieu of something. Then comes the capacity of the parties, that is, the party's ability to enter into an agreement. There are certain classes of people who cannot enter into a valid contract owing to their lack of capacity. Minors and the mentally incapacitated people are the best example for this, merely because the promisor contends that there was no intention to create legal obligations would not exempt him from the liability. It was held in the classic case of Carlyle versus Carbolic Smoke Ball Company. Now, what do we mean by legality? Legality is whether or not the contract meets all its jurisdictional requirements. For example, a contract provision that's legal in New Delhi may not be legal in New York. Contract law is the legal area that focuses on drafting and enforcing the contract. In India, contract law is governed by the Indian Contract Act of 1872. Overall, the contract law is uniform throughout the country, but different high courts may have different interpretations on certain elements of the contract. That is why it is best to consult the practicing advocate if you have any query with regard to your contracts. Now let's move on to the most crucial essential of a legal valid contract, that is consideration. As discussed before, consideration is nothing but something in return of something, and it must be legally valid in the eye of the law. In order for a contract to be enforceable, it must include adequate consideration, which is something in lieu of something. This could be money, property, or an action, and even inaction in certain cases. However, the action or the inaction cannot be something illegal or something that the other party is legally obligated to do. So in case if you are offering your neighbor not to play loud music at midnight, there may already be a local ordinance that prohibits late night jam sessions. Consideration must be something legally sufficient or bargained for. The parties must agree to the price, the mutual benefits, and achieve mutual detriment. Now let's have a look at the breach of contract. What happens when either of the party breaches the terms or agreements of the contract? Breach of contract is when one party does not perform their obligations under the contract. For example, if you paid the builder to hand over the possession of the property, but the builder refuses to hand over the possession due to his incapacity or work not being completed in time, the contractor is in breach of contract. Breach can be both in form of material aspects as well as the immaterial aspect. When we talk about material aspect, it is quite obvious that it is something related to the physical aspect of the product, while the immaterial aspect involves the late delivery, where you will have to prove monetary damages that you had incurred in order to claim the damages from the other party. In situation when a breach of contract occurs, the parties can come to an agreement on how to handle the breach. For example, the dealer or the builder can offer parking area free of charge in exchange for the inconvenience of delivering the possession beyond the stipulated date. The parties can also proceed to the court in this case. Depending on the amount of the monetary damages and on the state laws, the parties could even go to the small claims court as well, or can even opt for the alternative dispute resolution mechanism to resolve the breach of contract. Now let's discuss the privity of the contract. Someone who is not the party to the contract cannot sue to enforce the terms of a contract. That is the essence of the privity of the contract, which protects the parties from third-party interference. However, in recent years, the contract law has been relaxed due to various court decisions. Doctrine of implied warranty and strict liability allows a third party to sue if necessary. Now let's have a look at the difference between the agreement and the contract. An agreement is simply an understanding or arrangement reached by two or more parties, but a contract is a specific agreement that is enforceable by law because of its terms and elements. If you sell your car to a friend for, let's suppose, 1 lakh rupee by 31st May 2021, and that other friend buys your car as is, but here if you hand over the keys of the car and its possession to your friend, and at the same time your friend refuses to pay you, you could take the legal action against him. To prove that a contract is in place, it is very important to get the terms of the contract in writing and that both the parties sign to it. So let's have a detailed discussion on the drafting a contract, including elements of a contract, clauses, and signatories. There are 7 essential elements that go into a contract, and most of them have to do with the intention behind the contract. These elements are offer, acceptance, then the mutual assent, which is also known as the meeting of the minds, consideration, capacity, and the legality, and sometimes a written document. However, having the contract in writing helps you to prove that the other 6 elements already exist. Earlier, contract law required contracts to be written on paper to be valid, but today's contract will be valid in many jurisdictions even if they are electronic. The important thing is to get the contract in writing because oral agreements are notoriously difficult to enforce before the court. So the next question which clicks in our mind is, what is a clause in a contract? When you are writing a contract, you detail the provisions of it in different clauses. A clause is a specific section of your contract, like how the product will be delivered and how much it shall be costing, and the other details with regard to the contract. Contract clauses basically sets the obligation of each of the party and how the party will remedy any breach of such contract in case if one occurs. Contract clauses defines the obligation of each party and how the party will remedy in case if any breach of contract occurs. Common contract clauses include where you can sue, who is responsible if something goes wrong, and how dispute can be resolved. For example, either by first equipping themselves with arbitration before going to the court. For example, if you live in Mumbai and you are entering into a contract with a company or a corporation or a person living in New Delhi, you might add a choice of venue clause to specify where you would like to resolve the dispute. This would let you sue in your particular area if the other party does not perform their obligation. So now let's talk about what are the various steps that you need to keep in mind while drafting a contract. Well, writing a contract can be intimidating. Contracts are serious legal documents, and many people are afraid that they will miss out something important, or maybe they might misword their contract, leaving them unprotected. To make sure you have got the basics of your contract covered, here are certain essentials that contract should include. Number 1 is who the parties to the contract are and their correct legal names along with their addresses. Number 2, rights and obligation of each party in detail. For example, the web designer must deliver the fully functional website, but if you do not pay them, they have the right to pull down the website. Number 3, what the payment terms and requirements are, such as paying by wire transfer within 30 days of delivery of the website. Number 4, how and why the contract can be terminated. Like if the website designer misses too many deadlines, you can back out without owing them any more money just by sending them a letter via mail. Then comes number 5, how dispute will be resolved, such as where the disputes shall be resolved, such as in small claims court or by resolving to arbitration. You can also include the clause which relate to liability of in case if dispute arises. Then comes the clause which talks about who shall be liable if a dispute arises. This is also known as indemnity clause. This contract provision basically states which party will have to pay legal fees if there is a problem. These clauses don't have to be in fancy language. In fact, as long as the contract lays out the terms and conditions of your agreement clearly, you can always skip the confusing lingo. It is as a matter of fact and as a matter of practice, many people who write their own contracts use plain English and keep the clauses short and to the point. To make your contracts more readable, use simple paragraph headings like choice of venue and short sentences. Now comes the most crucial aspect of the contract, which is negotiating the contract. As you write your contract, there are chances that the other party might have different idea or different perception of view about what the terms of the agreement should be. For example, your web designer's contract would specify that the jurisdiction of the contract is in New Delhi, where they reside or they practice. And if the contract has to go to a court, you would have to travel all the way to New Delhi in order to resolve the problem. Now what you can do is you can negotiate the contract provision in such a manner that you can resolve the complaint in Mumbai as well, where you live and work. Because a contract is such an important document, it is alright to take your time negotiating the contract itself. You don't have to agree to everything all at once. You might have to go back and forth several times with adds and several requests, which is quite alright. As long as both parties can agree on common terms before beginning the work or engaging in the behavior that the contract is covering, you will have to compromise on some things like the payment terms so that you both will be on the common page. Let's move on to the conclusion part of how to draft the contract. Having a contract in place is the best way to manage expectations and make the terms and conditions of any agreement. To get started, you need to be familiar with the basics of contract law, what the elements of a contract are, how to manage contracts, and the various types of contracts that can be used. It covers the entire process of writing a contract from start to the finish, so you can create a contract yourself. Getting started with the writing contract can seem a daunting task, which is why this episode includes examples of various clauses that we had talked about. For now, this was it for today's episode. You were listening to the third season of The Law Years by the Noble Litigators. Today's show was written and presented by Pranav Bhardwaj. If you like the show, then do subscribe. You can also recommend the show to someone you think may like the show, share it with a friend or someone in the family. But until the next time we meet, have fun and stay safe.